find me in the spot where the floppies be. Till I give it a read, keep it crisp in the sleeve. Every Tuesday night feels like Christmas Eve. Living between Wednesdays.
What's up, folks? I'm your host, Konrad, on Wednesday Night Reviews, and today we're sitting down once again with Jerome Cabanatan to talk about their new book that's out. Jerome, thanks for taking the time to come on the show.
No problem. No problem, Konrad. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, you're a blast to have last time. And yeah, let's get some new books out for you.
Oh, yeah.
So that first easy question for the folks out there who've maybe never seen your face, never heard your name, who is Jerome Cabanatan?
Jerome Cabanatan is Theo and Megan's dad first. Kristen's husband, but I'm also a Taekwondo instructor and a cartoonist. So it's nice to, I just like to balance both. So all my comics have a martial arts feel to them, whether there's a lot of fighting in it or not, because I have illustrated children's books that can't be overly violent, but still need some action, right? Still need some action. We don't want to have Baby Shark the whole time, right? We want to have a little bit more fun than that.
Absolutely. For the folks out there who maybe aren't familiar with your work, can you sort of give a recap of some of the stuff that you have out?
Sure. I have a stack right here. All right. So this is my first graphic novel. It's Three Kids of Troop 44. It's a football movie / Karate Kid, right? So I think that's a accurate. Actually,
that's a really good way to put that.
The accurate way to put in it's it's like a, what's the word? Like a mid-grade graphic novel. So you can put it alongside your Diary of a Wimpy Kids and your Smiles. So that'd be nice to see that shelf right beside Raina Talgemeyer, because she's a gangster. I have that, and then I have my ABCs of Hii-Yaa, which is kind of like a follow-up companion piece. This goes alongside all your Dr. Seuss books and your Robert Munches, right? So it's a rhyming alphabetical martial arts tale about trying, failing, and trying again. And I have Tree versus Fox. This is a blank sketch cover that I'm going to be having.
Oh, cool.
That I'm going to be having available on the Crowdfundr. So you get the original cover. It's along the same universe, black and white martial arts super fight. It's a throwback to the 80s comics, magazine sized. Fighting for the sake of fighting, but there's a martial arts message in there, right? I don't just condone violence for no reason. I have other things. I have One Stone, which is my biweekly strip that I run with Next Panel Press. It's a syndicate of a bunch of cartoonists from around the world that I met over quarantine, really, and it's along the same vein as Sunday Strips. Strips. It's my accountability machine. It's been a very, very fun exercise to go through and not know what the end is going to be. Just know that it's out. So a lot of the comics that I make are different. They're created different. The process is different. I also have a zine of Etch-a-Sketch drawings. So it was because
I love this.
Because when there's the Inktober's, I followed the cartoonist kayfabe Tober prompts. I was actually at Canzine. When I started it. It was on the first. I drew a Grendel, and I didn't like it because I was just too distracted with everything. So I said, you know what, I'm just going to do everything on an Etch-a-Sketch because that looks weird. So I put that together. That's been fun. I have a couple of other children's books. I illustrated a comic. I don't have it on me right now, but it's Super Kids. It was written by a 6-year-old girl and her grandpa, and they hired me to illustrate it. It was supposed to be it was like a screenplay for a pilot, right? It was a screenplay for a pilot, and unfortunately, the grandpa passed, and it was made to be a gift for the daughter, the author. And she actually has the same birthday that I do, March 27th. And so and then we put that together. We put that together, and as a surprise, showed her. She liked it. We threw it up on Amazon, and that became a bestseller. So that was double pride, making her happy, and then showing us like, oh, I can do stuff too. And then the recent children's book is The Adventures of Team Brain. It's a story about emotional regulation, which is a big topic of conversation, especially with teachers and librarians and anybody that works with kids, really, right? So it's about what goes on in your head before a tantrum starts.
Mm-hmm.
Now, maybe I'll shoot you some of the images. I'll show you some of the images so you can like throw it in post. The magic.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Magic of editing, right? Yeah, and then most recently now it's I'm finishing up the HiiYaa the Handbook, which is that's what I'm running the Crowdfundr on, and this is like my nice little promo cards. It's one of those, you know, those 8 pages. You fold up a piece of paper, you fold up one piece of paper. It makes for a nice business card, bookmark, an excuse to do something cool. But HiiYaa the Handbook, it's about one of the characters that you'll see in Troop 44, and in that universe, he's the youngest one. He's trying to earn his next belt, but he keeps getting distracted because of comics, right? So he keeps getting distracted because he wants to make them, and he wants to he wants to make them, he wants to read them. Just you understand the disease that we all have, right? So
very.
So yeah, it's about that, and it started off actually as a set of 3 workbooks that I have. I called it like HiiYaa, let's make a comic, right? HiiYaa, let's make a comic. It was part of a program that I would run to help kids make comics and like teach them. So like the first book has like figure drawing. So I'm stealing this from my son. So this is all my son's stuff. So like teaches you like some figure drawing, and it actually gives you space to mess it up. So this is not a book that's going to be slabbed or pristine or encased in anything. I want kids to read it, mess it up, rip up the pages because they're flipping back and forth, because there's always this stuff.
Love it.
Right. So there's always that stuff in it, because I want to get kids creative, and I want to get kids active. So because I like it, and if I'm not creative or not active, then my brain, my feelings go down, and I think that goes for everybody. And I want to make sure that everybody has an outlet for that. So it started off with that. It started off with that, but like throughout the year, I've been like chipping away at stories to kind of fit in between the lessons. And this is what I would like, kind of as if I was to put this beside another book, I'd put this beside the Captain Underpants and the Dogmans and the Cat Kid Clubs. Like I want to hang out with Dave Pilkey, right?
Oh hell yeah!
And so I'd like to tap into that crowd, because I know a lot of the kids that I teach. The kids that I teach, they love that stuff too, and they're entertained when I do stuff, so I might as well do stuff for that. So it's all what I like is it's all the same universe. So Troop 44, the ABCs of HiiYaa, the HiiYaa Handbook, Tree versus Fox is all the same universe, but it's all a bit different. It's all a bit of a different crowd. So that whole universe is I'd like it to be like my 4-quadrant baby, right? Get caught in that. So yeah, I've just been trying to do my rounds and pushing the Crowdfundr, pushing the rest of the books, because I'll have you'll have all of that stuff on the Crowdfundr too, and I'm gonna put exclusive stuff just for the Crowdfundr, like dust jackets for the graphic novels, the sketch covers. I got some nice paper. Bought some microns, because I don't usually work with like the good stuff, right? The good stuff. But I thought, you know what? If I'm gonna get a sketch cover, I gotta make sure that the paper's right and the markers look right, and let's step it up, right? Let's step it up. So that's
absolutely
that's what I'm trying. So I I practiced with the Micron. So here's my shredder.
Ooh.
And then I got a Mando here too. So
Nice.
I like them. I like them. Maybe I'm gonna work on some brush pens in a little bit, but I don't know. I'm taking my time.
Well, you know what? You'll have to play with it, see what you really like. Clearly, you're taking to the Microns well. For a little bit of context for folks, I wanted to ask, or rather, well, I know, but I want to get it out there. So, like you said, you're a martial arts instructor. Primarily, you teach children, correct?
Yes. Especially now. Since pandemic. I was before then. I was national team coach. I was doing a lot of traveling, and the coaching world ranked athletes and world ranked athletes on, I'll do that on the weekend, and then I'll come back on the Monday or the Tuesday and help tie a kid's belt and make sure that he doesn't pee his pants. Like it was. So I had a big range of students.
Yeah, really.
But since pandemic, I got closer to home, and I've been teaching been teaching at a school in Whitby, Jun Taekwondo, and in Scarborough at the Variety Village. So I've been teaching at both places, and I get a chance to teach my kids. Right, teach my kids. They're 9 and 6, and then they enjoy whenever we do camps, because we'll do camps, and we'll do all the training, and we'll make comics every day too. And I've been able to kind of do the things that I wanted to do. Right, do the things that I wanted to do. I get the opportunity to create books and to be on casts and to show up at TCAF and then magically get a table. Right?
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that was Peggy Burns from Drawn and Quarterly. She was the one that kind of was like, okay, right. So if anyone were to say anything, I'd say Peggy told me to do it. So
absolutely, thank you, Peggy.
Yep.
So let's talk about your new book, the campaign. And for me personally, because you're doing it through Crowdfundr, correct?
Correct.
So I'm not super familiar with that, so how that process works. Let's start with, what is the new book that you've got coming?
The new book is called HiiYaa, the Handbook, and it's going to be a story about Lionel, the tree, and he wants his new belt, but he's going to be distracted because he wants to read his comics and he wants to make his comics, but he also wants his new belt. So he's getting caught up in that, and knowing when to practice, what to practice, and just realizing that anything that you want to do, if you want to make a comic, you want to get your next belt, like that takes practice, and you got to practice everything, right? And so that's the gist of it. The whole book will have, because I'm an instructor, I can't have poorly drawn technique in the book. So I'll break down just certain things that I say every day, every day in the class. How to throw a shot. There's in the flipperama type things. There's a technique tracker. So basically, you do 10, right? You do 10, and you fill in a circle, and then there's 100 circles on that page. So when you're done, you've done 1,000, right? When you're done, you've done 1,000, and hopefully the pages haven't ripped. And if the pages, and if you've ripped the pages, then that just means you have to buy another one, and you should buy 10, right?
Just in case, yeah.
Right. So that's the book. I'm kind of, it's when it comes to writing and drawing, I'm throwing spaghetti at the walls and seeing what sticks, and all the books are different sizes. They're for different demographics, but because it's all me, right?
Yep.
I think when I write and I draw, like, I'm the demographic. If I'm not happy with it, then
yes,
really, why am I doing it, right? Sure, if I go to a con and I'm at a table and someone asks for a Spider-Man, I'm not going to say, no, I'm not going to do a Spider-Man. Okay, fine. I don't really like drawing all the webs, but here you go. right? I'm not above a job, right? I'm not above a job. I'm still like I'm new to the game. I know that there's a lot of people that have done more than me, and have been blessed less. So I'm happy with where I am. I'm happy with where I am. I'm excited about where I'm going, and it only happens because I'm willing to do. It's not going to be perfect. I got to eat my vegetables, so that's
nice. Good way to put it.
Right. That's what I'm trying to do right now. Right. I can't just skip all the way. I can't skip all the way to dessert. Right. I can't just eat. I can't just automatically just, hey, look, I'm on everything now. Right. No, I got to wait a bit, and I gotta build my body of work, and I'm still working on that first 1,000 finished pages. So, so I can't really judge myself until I've done that. So, I don't know. I completely went off track.
No, you know what? You're good. So like basically, the last time we spoke. So for the folks out there, if you didn't know, Jerome, you and I did an interview. I want to say about 2 years ago now about your first book, The ABCs of Hii-Yaa. The Treetop Kids of Troop 44 and the ABCs. So actually, I have a copy of both of your books on my shelf here, and the triple pack that you had. I have it in another room. What I find interesting, like you said, Jerome, and you mentioned this the last time we spoke, which is, until you've drawn 1,000 pages, you're not going to judge yourself, because you're going to give yourself that runway to learn, to experiment, to mess up, to make things correct, and then go from there. Well, I definitely think you're well on your way. You've got multiple books out, and I think, for me personally, what's unique about you is a lot of the folks that I interview are making comics for adults, primarily. Sure, kids could read them, but they're a little more violent. They're a little more maybe politically minded or something like that. Whereas your books... they're a little more edgy, a little more dark. Whereas your books they're bright, they're fun, they're highly approachable, and they're truly targeted for kids, because you're using them as, in some ways, aids for teaching martial arts, teaching life skills, and heck, just having fun. Because it should be fun. I guess one thing I did want to ask is, because I've never really covered a Crowdfundr before. One, when is it live, or is it currently live? When does it end? So when's the last day for people to support it? And I guess, how can they support it? What are the tiers? Is it like a tier system? How does that all work?
Okay. First, let's talk about the genre of the Jerome books, which are a little bit brighter and funnier and dark and gritty. They do say write what you know, and I don't live my life dark and gritty, right? I'm a dad, right? I'm a dad. I take my daughter to ballet. I teach my kid taekwondo, and so it's all my books are very much so me, right? I don't even Tree versus Fox, which I will say is the best choreographed fight that you'll see in a comic. If you see a better one, let me know so I can get it, because I want that comic. As far as the Crowdfundr is, so it's similar to Kickstarter, where there's it's a crowdfunding tool. But what makes it not similar is you can roll it into a store. So that's kind of one of the things that I go. So, and it's not so much tier based. I do have a tier for a product that you can get. You can get the Hii-Yaa Handbook, right? You can get the Hii-Yaa Handbook.
Yep.
You can get the Troop 44, and it'll have a special Crowdfundr dust jacket on it.
That's so cool,
right? Same thing with ABCs of Hii-Yaa. I have that, so people can pick and choose. It's not like packages how it is in Kickstarter. You get a basket, right? You get a basket.
Oh, and you can just go in and.
That's right. And if you're one of the people that just want to contribute but don't want anything. That confuses me because I'm like, don't you want any of this stuff? That, and then I also have like a commission tier. So like you can get the blank Tree versus Fox, and I'll draw whatever you want on it, right? Right? You want me to draw like a Rocket and Groot and be like, hey, we're in the wrong comic, right?
Cute.
I can do something like that too, and that's why I practiced with these just so I don't mess up any of the sketch covers. So you can only get that one on the Crowdfundr. I do have an Etsy store as well, but in terms of like fees and stuff like that, the Etsy's it's a little bit tougher. It's a little bit tougher, but I'm still working around on it. I'm not married to one specific thing. I used well, except for my wife. I went the Tree versus Fox. I used the Kickstarter at the end of last year. And I pushed that, and it was pretty good. It was pretty good. Just like the name brand of Kickstarter, right? When people say, "Oh, it's a Kickstarter book," like
they know when it's popular.
People that help Kickstarters like it to help Kickstarters because of the word Kickstarter. So I wanted to go in on that. But with Crowdfundr, the fees are the fees are quite a bit less. The potential for like people coming in, potential for eyes. I actually just got a bunch of emails from them, just asking about like what's the word? Like there's a Canadian Creator Spotlight. Or the Canadian Creator Spotlight. So, and they said they were going to push that. So that's kind of why I said, you know what? I'm getting emails for it. So, and they're gonna help promote. Then they're gonna help promote because, really, I'm not a publishing company.
Nope.
Right? I'm not a publishing company. I'm not an advertising company. I'm a cartoonist, and that means I have to take all the responsibility and all the success and all the failure and all the stress is that lies on me, right? Mm-hmm. I know I can try to push and promote as much, and I have you have friends and people that want to help push and promote, but if I'm not going to do it, no one else is going to do it. So
yeah, exactly.
So really, I just took the Crowdfundr. I took the Crowdfundr route because it seemed like they were willing to help, and there's some shares here and there. So I'm like, okay, I'll take it. And the option of being able to roll it out into a store, like when it's done. So the campaign runs for the month of May. I launched it the day right after TCAF, right?
Nice.
TCAF. Right before Free Comic Book Day, so I was doing. So I was handing these out and a bunch of my zines at the Taekwondo school, like on Free Comic Book Day. I was just like, here,
hell yeah,
free stuff here. Take some free stuff, right? Just, it's the tagline for Hii-Yaa the Handbook is the interactive graphic novel promoting martial and sequential arts. So,
that's good,
right? So, and that's that's kind of how I live, right? That's kind of how I live. Like whenever I'm teaching a class I try to break down whatever the drill is going to be as simple as it can, so that it's almost like panels, right? I try to down as clear as possible, and I find that comics are a really good way to. It's the best distillation of information. I think. I think that's as an art form. It's just like, have you ever put anything together by IKEA? That's all a comic, and there's no words, right? No. And I get it, right? Even though I make mistakes on it.
Everyone does. It's IKEA.
but yeah, and then even when I'm making a comic, I want to make the fight make sense. I like to make the fight make sense. I like seeing the hero fail, right? Mm-hmm. I like seeing the hero fail because it's not fun if they don't fail, right? So Life isn't fun without failure. Life isn't fun without struggle. So those are the kinds of things that I like to speak on, because that's what I feel I can speak on. I don't think, like, I'm not at the point where I can write a horror story, because my brain doesn't think that way, right? My brain is try it, fail it, try it, fail it, try it, fail it, pass. That's kind of how I try to approach everything. And even with the like the books that I have, whether it's the Troop 44 stuff, or like a children's book, or somebody else's story, each time I'm thinking I'm getting better. Right? Each time I'm thinking getting better. Right? And if it looks, and try to experiment. I haven't been set in my style yet. I have some things that are clearly Jerome stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I'm not done, right? I'm not done. So I'm gonna keep pressing, keep pushing until it doesn't push no more. So that's where I'm at, and so that's why I've used. I don't know if you've seen that. So Black Belter is my. Do I even have any here? Hold on, let's check.
On hold, no problem.
Okay, so I have a series, Black Belter. So it's like my Mad magazine. It's my Mad magazine. It's a bunch of strips and short stories, and so, like, you remember Over the Top?
Absolutely.
There's Over the Top 2099. Right. So it's parody stuff. It's autobio stuff. It's just off the cuff type things, and I want I post like a strip on a week on my Patreon. Again, this is all accountability stuff, right? If I don't have a deadline, if it's a make it whenever you want, then I don't know if it actually gets done, right? So I need to put a date on something, right? So something like, even something like Hii-Yaa Handbook, right? Hii-Yaa the Handbook. I've had these three set up for like a few years now, right? A couple years to go set it up, and kids have used it, and I show it off at cons, and kids like it, and they play. But putting fitting it into a story.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It was something that I was, at the beginning of the year, I was like, yeah, I think I should start filling all that stuff in now. And then when I kind of said, okay, I'm gonna do this for Crowdfundr, and like that was, I'm in the last touches, right? I'm just in the last touches now, and margins and stuff like that.
The formatting stuff that no one likes to do, but you have to do.
Yeah, it's not as fun, but that's what most of like March and April were. Most of March and April was like, okay, grind it out, zip.
Yep.
Now it's time. Like, I already have all the stuff, but now it's time to actually fit it together. And because if I just say no, because I wasn't gonna crowdfund for this. I was just gonna make it and
okay.
See what happens. But when I saw that Crowdfundr is going to be doing a Canadian spotlight in like mid-April to May, I was like, okay, then I'll launch it in May when it's done, right? I'll launch it in May when it's done, and then just because, like, I don't like it when I hear the stories on Kickstarter where somebody has the book, they get people to back the book, and they never finish the book, right? It's like did you ever see the episode of The Office, of Scott's Tots?
I haven't, but I'm familiar with the story of it.
Yeah. So it's I don't want that. I never want to leave anybody hanging that way, especially someone that paid, right? But so they're gonna do the Crowdfundr, the Canadian spotlight in May, and then
very cool.
They're gonna do a kids and young adult spotlight in July, in July. So my plan was to do the campaign in May. Get test prints and finalize the prints out in June.
Okay.
And then roll it out in July and roll the Crowdfundr into a store in July to coincide with the youth adult stuff. And so that's my plan. It seems smart on paper, but I'll see if I get to have my Maserati.
Well, you know what, Jerome,
Yeah.
I'm sure you will, because you've got the personality for it. You've got that mentality about, you know what, if it doesn't work, just keep trying, keep learning, keep making change, whatever you got to do. And yeah, between the Crowdfundr getting lined up as it is with the Canadian Spotlight, and then the youth the youth content spotlight in July, that's awesome, because that's you. I guess because Crowdfundr is a little different, like you said, it's not on a tier basis. Instead, it's sort of like a shopping cart. You can pick what you want. For the handbook, because that's the sort of the new book that we're talking about mostly. How much do you have just a digital copy? How much is a physical copy? Yeah.
Okay. Well, for the handbook, it's okay. So the handbook's $25. Okay?
Perfect.
So the handbook's $25. The troop 44 is $30. It's gonna have the extra.
The jacket on it. Nice.
Gonna have the jacket. This is gonna be $20. And Tree versus Fox is going to be $20, and Tree versus Fox, that has all 7 covers, right? All 7 covers. So you can choose. So there's they got 5 of my buddies that I met through like the cartoonist kayfabe, that community. A lot of us worked on image grand design together, and I think you got a copy of that.
I do, yeah. You gave me a copy. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's that was like COVID school, cartooning school. It was almost like summer camp, like, you know, when when the world started kind of like rolling back out, and we were just finishing up the book. It was almost felt like, oh no, camp's over, right? Right. It was like a comics version of Stand By Me. Like we all really got close that way. So they really hooked me up with putting in some crazy covers. I'll send you some pictures of all those covers and links to those guys. And then also there's that blank sketch cover, so you can get it blank. So if you're an artist and you want to draw something on it, commission something on it, and you go make some cash for yourself there, that you can give them a nice picture and a really cool fight inside.
Nice.
So we have that, and the digital tier. Sorry, the digital tier is $10, and you get all 4 books. Like I'm not going to charge. On the digital pack, I'm not charging, for each book. It's the pack, right? It's the pack, and if you're gonna just get it and print it out yourself, go ahead. I'm not gonna find you and stop you, right? I do the same. I'm the worst with that kind of stuff, right? You ask anybody, right? I'll have copies of somebody's book before they do, but. That's besides the point. But yeah, I'll also be doing sketch commission covers. So if somebody has something that they want specific, they can do that. And I am also thinking of doing like an exclusive Tree versus Fox cover. Ooh. Like just make a new cover just for the Crowdfundr. Because now I'm in marketing mode now. So whatever move works, right? I know there's a lot of people that like that
absolutely
that Todd McFarlane Spider-Man 1 cover. So I'm just
have fun with it.
That's probably which one I'm gonna do, and that's what I did for the Hii-Yaa Handbook anyway, because I thought, oh, somebody might like this one. But yeah, there's that. I'm thinking of, just adding some product as the week goes, because right now I'm currently at 30%, right?
Okay.
Currently at 30%, which is okay, right? Which is okay, but if I can just keep bumping stuff up, and just so people can constantly see some more stuff. And
exactly, something to get on into.
Yeah, I don't exactly know how any of this stuff works. I just know that if you constantly bug people, they just might listen. That's usually how it goes. I think feeling after the Kickstarter for Tree versus Fox, I remember when it was done, which I did at the absolute wrongest time, right? I did at the absolute wrongest time. Like I wanted to have it finish like early December, right? Mm-hmm. Early December, so I can roll stuff out and people can get it in the new year. But it didn't work that way, right?
Yeah,
it didn't work that way. What ended up happening was, it got other things that I wanted to promote it with, like a taekwondo tournament. It kind of pushed back, so then it ended in end of December. I think like December 20th is when.
Yeah,
that's usually not good. But I made it, right? I made it, so it was.
Yep.
It was good, but there's a lot of flaws in what I did. So I think I'm trying to do a better job now, of trying to promote and.
Mm-hmm.
And push. It's in a better time, right? It's in a better time.
I think so. Yeah, like you're definitely between the stuff that Crowdfundr's doing for you, as well as stuff like coming on my show, the other stuff I've seen you working on social media, putting out there, which is great. Yeah, I think you're in a great spot. Yeah. From what I understand, so I know with Kickstarter, right? If like 100 people say, "Hey, I want whatever tier," and it's $10, you get $1,000 out of it, but only once it's met its goal.
Yeah.
With Crowdfundr, if I'm not mistaken, you get whatever people want to contribute. And like you said, you're finishing the book now anyway, so it's going to be done for people. But I kind of like the idea that, you know what, even if, say, only 50 people see it and decide to get it, they can support you, give you their money, and they can still get their book out of it. I kind of like that idea. Yeah, how do you, when it comes to creating it now that you've done a few Kickstarters, how do you feel about that?
Well, it's you can do it like with crowdfunding. There's a lot of options.
Okay,
that's what I like. Like you could do an all or nothing, right? You could do an all or nothing, or you can do a keep it all. If you want to extend. If you want to extend the campaign, you can extend the campaign.
Oh.
I don't plan on extending the campaign. I think what I'll get, take it or leave it. Then stuff's gonna start going to print. But right, the option of being able to like roll it over into a store, I found that found that really, really interesting. Especially when I compare the fees of the store, right? Yeah. So you can constantly edit things and like just don't take something off if somebody's already ordered it. If somebody's ordered, you give it to them. But yeah. So I'm gonna be adding. I'll be adding some things. I think I'll be adding like a black belter pack where the black belter pack is, so it'll be
very cool.
It'll be the first 5 issues, right? It'll be the first 5 issues. I'd have to reprint the 5th issue because I sold my last one at the table at
Hell yeah!
So my backpack felt lighter, right? So that was nice. But I'll be adding that, I think, because for Free Comic Book Day, anybody that ordered a book before Free Comic Book Day, I was gonna offer them. I was just gonna throw in a One Stone, like the first issue of One Stone. Which funny enough, One Stone is it's the imaginary comic that's in Troop 44. So like the kids that read comics in Troop 44.
Yeah,
when
you're now reading the comic.
The comic is One Stone, and that was right, that was just something that I just made up when I was writing. I had no idea. It was when I got approached by the guys from Next Panel Press, and they said, "Do you want to do a strip? You want to do a bi-weekly strip? Do you think you like? Could you get done?" And I said, "Of course I can get it done." I didn't know.
You're getting it done, though.
I didn't know. If I already said I'm gonna get it done, so I'm gonna go get it done. So I was like, okay. And then they're gonna go make this rock, and it's gonna go on some adventures. What adventures? I don't know. Ask me in 2 weeks. So
yeah, I was gonna say
it is, and I think about 10 strips in, right? About 10 pages in, it became something completely different than what I thought it was gonna be 4 pages in, and now I'm 42 pages in. It's a lot. It's gotten deeper and better and more fun than what I initially was thinking. So it was
awesome.
Like I have like a mutant turtle owl guy that just got there. It's been one of the most refreshing exercises that I've done in writing, because it really lets you flow from your brain, and I don't want to think too much ahead into it, because I think that's where it gets its life. That's where it gets its character. It's because it's whoa, right?
Yeah, it almost sounds like you're playing a big game of improv. Yes, and
that's exactly what it is.
That's so cool.
It's slow improv. It's a D&D campaign without a board. It's tall tales, and that's been really fun, especially when if I have certain books that I know what the beginning and I know what the end is going to be, and then I'll fill it in, because that's usually how I go. I want to know what the end is, then I'll figure out the beginning, which is opposite.
Yeah, and then you can
fill some stuff in. I can't think linearly, right? I can't. I can, but it's really boring when I do it that way. And, right? I don't want to create or read anything that's that boring. So that's why I'm trying to push all of this all at once. So
yeah, you're firing all cylinders. One thing I did want to ask for One Stone, what's the best way for people to get it?
They can read the whole thing for free at Next Panel Press. Next Panel Press is it's on Instagram, and it's not just me. It's a whole bunch of other guys, right? There's like the Rick Lopez has Cosmic Cat, which is like, it's like if there was like Fritz the Cat written by Grant Morrison. Like
cool.
It's so weird, right? Relic Hunter by Adam Lemna. That's Sword and Sorcery, Conan, Savage Sword of Conan type.
Yeah.
Terror in the Shallows. Looks like by Jeff Manley. It's like a cartoon. It's like a cartoon strip horror movie. If you like Jay Stevens' Dwellings, I think that's something I think people would like that one. And there's a whole bunch of other stuff, like there's baseball ones about baseball, and it updates every Sunday, so you'll go and check that out. Right? There's another Canadian guy, Jesco Morg. He's from Montreal, and if you like weird dark comedy, if you like The Far Side, he kind of has that vibe. Like, so there's a bunch of different strips, and some guys stay on for longer, some guys some guys are in and out, but you'll get new comics every week. And that's if you just want to read it and you want to catch up. But if you do want to purchase it, you can grab something off the Crowdfundr and shoot me a message. I'll toss it in, right?
Sweet.
Right? Or or you can go to my Etsy, and then it comes in a pair. It comes in a pair. You would get the one stone book, and like it comes in. I said it as a package because there's the one stone book, and then there's my Etch a Sketch book. So I
so cool.
That's why I put that as a package just because I don't want to just send one thing. And that's the thing. Well, if you get anything off like from the Etsy and probably even like the Crowdfundr, I'm not just gonna send the thing that you asked for, and that's me all the time. If people have ever gotten anything from me online, just that there's always a free zine, there's always something, and that zine it could be anything, right? It could be anything. If there's one specific that you've seen me do, it's like it's what I do in between making comics. Is I will find stuff to make comics out of, like the John Byrne Elsewens.
Mm-hmm.
So the Elsewens, like I inked some of those as practice, right?
Nice.
I inked that as COVID practice. So I got issue 1, 2, and 3, and I got issue 1, 2, and 3. I don't sell them, but like if someone's there, I'm like, oh, do you have it? Do you have any of those? And if they get something, I'll just toss it in the bag.
Yeah, toss it in. Yeah.
Right? Like, and then when I'm out, I'm out until I'm not out. But like, I don't want to, like I like making those zines and I like making bootlegs and stuff like that. But that's not the basis of my business or my art. It's a fun thing. It's like I only make stuff that I like, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'll only put together stuff that I like, and right. You'll get the thing that I made. You'll get the thing that I made and a piece of what inspired it, right? A piece of what got me going on, right? Because there will be times where I'm stuck on a page, but inking half a John Byrne page will it'll get my juices going to be either inspired to do it, or I'm like, I can't draw all these backgrounds. I'm done with this. I got to draw something else. Right? It's one or the other. I got put up a couple of zines. I got I've been on like a storyboard hunt, right? I've been on a storyboard hunt, so like finding certain storyboards online. I'm like, okay, that needs to get on paper, right, for me, and I just leave it on the side of my paper. So if I get caught up in a shot and I'm like, okay, I don't know how this should pan out, like, oh, I like this movie. Let's go check out the storyboards for this.
That's so cool.
So I use that, and it would be nice to actually to like get a storyboarding gig. No, not too long. I don't want it as a career or anything, but like get a storyboarding gig, 6 months, a year, right?
Yeah, just to try.
And like make some decent dough and get a lot of practice in, right? Get a lot of practice in, and then after that, I think after, if I do like a year of storyboards, then my next comic's just gonna get better, right?
Oh, absolutely. Like that's actually, Jerome, I could see you doing that so well. Maybe like, I don't know, maybe if my brain just goes to the Hong Kong film industry because of the prevalence of like martial arts and the martial arts film. So maybe if a Hong Kong film company is just like, we need a storyboard guy. I mean, you've got the practice in comics. You know how to break stuff down so it's clear and concise. I think you'd have a hell of a time with that.
Yeah. I'd love that. So like, not even like huge films. Like, give me like a student film and give me a student film, pay me a rate, and you'll get what you pay for. You want some more details, then I can draw more details. You just want the actual choreography of this fight or the choreography of this shot of this scene. Yeah, I'll do that. As long as like it makes sense to anybody. I want to be able to, right? Because I've come to the realization, I think a long, long time ago, where I realized no matter how good I get to draw, I'm not gonna be able to draw as good as the people that that I grew up with, because in my head I'm holding them in a certain spot above me. So no matter how good it is objectively,
you'll always be chasing
to look in my head. I'm always that. Like that's why people like people can't accept that the thought that maybe Michael Jordan wasn't the best, right? If people can't, right? Like I don't know. Like I don't know. I don't like I'm not an expert or anything, but like they can't, right? They hold on to it and they, like no, it's the best. It's and they just hold on to that. So I know I have that for myself. Like no matter what, no matter how good I get, I know I'm not going to be like, yeah, I draw muscles as good as Jim Lee. I don't, right? I don't, and I won't. But if I can tell a story clearly, if I can choreograph the fights better than everybody else, right? Which I feel that I do. I might not have the best shots or the best angles, but that's drawing practice. But when it comes to like the choreo of the fight, right? Tree versus Fox. That's all I gotta say. Like that's my card. Hey, that's what I got. It's like I want to be able to show it clearly and let everybody know what's actually happening, and that's the excitement that I get. Right. I think I've watched a lot of movies where I don't know. Like at the end of a movie, I know like. Sometimes like I don't know the main character's name. Like I'll watch a movie, I don't know the main character's name, but I remember that one shot that happened, that one shot that happened in that first fight where the guy flipped over the other one, kicked him out in the back of the knees, and like I'll remember that.
Yeah.
But I don't remember the story, right? That's just the way my brain has been wired since I was a kid. So I don't remember all the full stories of like all the Thundercats stuff, but when you see like I have it burned in my brain, like Panther jumping out of the thunder tank, then flying sidekick, I'm like, ooh, I want to know how to do that, right? That was that's kind of what I want to give, and I want to give, and that's because that's what's excited me to do all the things that in my life, and I want somebody else to have that too. At the same time, you know, be praised and rained with money because of how good my stuff is, right?
Well, you will definitely get there, and I have to agree that the choreography you've got in your fights, it's like I said earlier, it's clear, it's concise, but it's also fun. Because I've read too many comics where they try and show a whole fairly complex looking fight over 2 pages with like only 6 splashes, and when you actually think about the motions that you're seeing, it's like, that doesn't make sense.
It doesn't fit. Right?
Yeah, suddenly an arm's disappeared where it should have been, and I find you nail that every time.
Like I would like most of my comic fights to be almost like keyframes. Key like I would like to be able to show Tree versus Fox to an animator and be like, yeah, I can do that. Like just like, oh yeah, this is good, and get guys to do it.
Get all the in-betweens going.
Yeah, get all the in-betweeners going. But that's a job that I don't want. But
no, the people that do in-betweens are heroes.
Again, I would do it for about 6 months to a year, but I don't want it as a career. But I know what kind of powers. I know each struggle will unlock a power. It's like a Mega Man level, right?
Yeah,
like a Mega Man level. I did one. I think it's last year. I animated a music video. I animated a music video for an indie artist, Johnny Starks. So, he's a friend of mine from again through Taekwondo, and we did it. I'll send you that link. So
please do. That's so cool.
I animated a music video, and like. I think it turned out pretty good, and I was happy with it. But man, I don't want to do that again. It was good. Like it turned out nice. It was simple. It was basic. I made the concept work with what I knew that I could do. I didn't overdo it. But it was just when I was done, I was like, I'm proud of myself. Never again.
I love it. Right? That's so good.
So if anybody ever asks for an animation or something, I just just price them way too high. You just price it way too high, and it, like, if they're willing to pay it, they're gonna be like, oh, okay, then
cool.
Then now, okay,
yeah,
then,
that's awesome. Well, I hope you get something like that because that'd be cool. We are getting to the end of the hour, Jerome. So I wanted to ask as a quick recap, where's the best place for people to support you? And roughly what would be the buy-in for your books on the Crowdfundr?
So $30 will get you we'll get you pretty much anything that you want, whether you want the Tree versus Fox or the HiiYaa Handbook. But the Crowdfundr is crowdfundr.com. Crowdfundr,
it's spelled weird.
No ER. It says it's so it's Crowdfundr, like just DR. Crowdfundr.com/HiiYaa Handbook, 2 I's, 2 A's. If you want to follow me on Instagram, it's @JeromeCab. My link tree is linktree/JeromeCab, so JROAMCAB, and my Etsy store @JeromeCab. So
love it.
I try to be as all simple there. But if there is anything that anybody wants, I would be trying to push the Crowdfundr. Oh, and anybody want any like Mother's Day stuff? Like I do like digital portraits. Like if somebody wants to like get Simpsons or animate or Rick and Morty or
so
like
cool.
like any cartoon stuff, like that's I offer that on my Etsy too, like the digital prints and digital files, and you can get them printed anywhere, like you can, Staples or somewhere local would be probably better. Support the local guy always. But that's something that I do as well. The commissions are open. I'm hopping along freelance Peter Parker style. I just not taking pictures of myself. Well, actually I do, but yeah,
awesome.
That's where to find me.
Beautiful folks out there. Links down below. Go check them all out. Go back to Crowdfundr. Jerome, absolutely. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me today.
No problem. Okay, anytime.
Absolutely. And folks, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think of Jerome. First link down below will be that Crowdfundr, and we'll see you next time.
And digest to oversize, never miss new comic day. Yeah, no surprise. So where's my no prize? Check the letter columns. Can't find issue 2. Collector problems, cliffhangers, mysteries. You need answers. When did Batman become Green Lantern? I get it. True believer, not lying. Always up for an awesome summer crossover tie-in. High flying, full color or black and white. Splash pages, flashbacks. Whet your appetite with new costumes, team ups, first loves, first appearances.